This thing kind of hurts my nuts. Hi guys, how's it going? So I'm getting ready to go down to Texas here pretty soon and do some hog hunting. And we have tree stands down there set up on the ranch and some tripods and some other stuff that you could fall out of. So the bottom line is you know, safety first, and I've hunted down there a couple times now already, and the one tree stand, a place we call Cotton One, is probably 35 feet up and up in the tree, and you're going up in there in the dead of, you know, the pre-dawn hours when it's pitch dark down there. So, of course, I have a green LED headlamp that it's new for me. I'm going to try that out this trip. Supposedly hogs can't see the green light. And to climb up into that tree stand. So, and that's just one of them. There's several different ones that are kind of high up. So I think fall protection is kind of important. I've never employed that in the past, and that's my bad. I've been up in that tree stand at Cotton One there a couple times. This last time, most recently, was in April. And I'll tell you, there was a couple times I doped off in that tree stand because you're out late hours hunting into the night, and then you're up early hunting the early morning hours, and you know, sometimes you're not getting quite enough sleep, and kind of doped off a little bit. So problem is if you fall out of that thing, you're liable to kill yourself. So it's a long way down, you know, it's through the limbs and all the way down to the ground below it. And sometimes that ground is covered in, you know, maybe as much as 8 inches of water. It's not at this time of year. So I went out and investigated some fall harnesses, and I came up with this one. This is what they call the BowHunterX1, and this one is made by Hunter Safety Systems, I believe is the name of the company. At any rate, the BowHunterX1 series, and it's kind of a nifty device. It's kind of similar to my regular fall protection that I might use on my roof of my house, and it's all sewn webbing. It's got some pretty fancy, look like proprietary buckles on it that are nice and stealthy, and they're made out of metal. And this is the lanyard here, and this, as you can see, is sewn in several steps, and that's sort of to break your fall as those tear out. That would kind of slow you down a little bit. The bottom line is when you're using one of these, first and foremost, when you buy this unit, it comes from the company with tons of instructions and a DVD. So if you're going to use one of these, make sure you follow all the instructions, and they even want you to carry this little one in your pocket. You know, when you're out there, just in case you have a question about how to work this thing. It's actually pretty easy to do. So what we'll do is I'll show you, you know, putting it on, and I've got it already kind of pre-adjusted for me. This is a large, extra large. I was worried about the small medium being too small, and I probably won't be the only person to use this. So, you know, I'll use it when I'm up in the tree, and if I'm hunting elsewhere and somebody else is going up there, you know, I'll have them wear it, and I'm probably the smallest guy in the bunch. So at any rate, it's just right on the verge of being too big for me, but it does adjust up okay. So how do you put it on? You just basically sling it over like so, you know, hang the lanyard out front. And then they want you to put this, clip this, and listen for this metallic click when you do the belly strap. And it's adjustable on the back. So And you might notice I don't have it super skin tight because, trust me, you don't want it too tight. And I'll tell you why in a bit. And then you just undo each individual leg strap, and you make sure that these are totally for sure locked. Last thing you want to do is fall out of the tree and not have these hooked. Okay, these here loops are for what they call the tree climbers sling, or it's a band that goes around the tree, so that when you climb up the tree, like using a climbing tree stand, you would put that through here. But I don't have that accessory, so I'm probably not going to use those. The other thing they give you with this is, and that's literally all there is to put it on. It's pretty quick. This is the part that goes around the tree that you would hook the lanyard into, and you can see it's they call this the tether strap, and this goes around the tree above your head. And when you put one of these up, they tell you that when you put this around the tree, you want to be standing in your tree stand. You want to put it at about head height, and the idea being so that when you sit down in the tree stand, this thing isn't snug, but it's very well adjusted. There's not a lot of slack in it. You don't want a ton of slack. You want just enough slack to where you can stand up and move around and that sort of thing. But because if you fall, you don't want to go a bunch of distance before the thing actually stops you, you know, because as I'll show you in a minute here, it can be kind of painful in the groin area when this thing goes tight. So this is the part that goes around the tree, and I also bought this one here, because this one you have to put on and off every time you get in and out of the stand, and I didn't want that. So I bought this one. This is by the same company, and this tether here has a line and a prusik knot on it, and it essentially does the same thing as that, but it's a little quicker to put it on and off the tree, A, and B, it's got a carabiner on it, so you can clip in and out. You could actually leave this, hook this to the tree and leave it, and then when you get up into the tree stand, then you just hook into it. So kind of like that idea. That's about another 25 bucks. These are about $60 for these harnesses, and I got mine at Cabela's. And then the other thing they give you, which you're definitely going to want to use, is this device right here, which they call it a deer drag. So you could drag an animal with it, hooked to the tail end of your harness. But most importantly, this is a suspension relief strap. And what you do with this is, if you should fall out of the tree, you clip this to the back of the harness, and then you can actually stick your foot in it and stand up on it and take the weight off your groin. So you can kind of alternate between hanging in the harness and then standing on this relief strap, so that you can get blood flow to your legs and so forth, because when you're hanging in this harness, you know, it gets sore after a bit of time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to suspend myself with this thing, and we'll see how that goes. All right, the way I'm going to do this is in my barn. I'm going to use my hoist. It goes up into the loft here. I have to crawl up to get it. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so they tell you at all times when you're wearing this and you're up in the tree that you keep this deer drag suspension relief strap in a pocket that's accessible. It's real handy. And the reason for that is if you fall and you wind up hanging in the harness, you're going to need this. So I don't really have a great, be best to have, on my hunting pants I have the pockets on the legs, you know, and that would be best because then you could easily get it out. But I'm just going to try to kind of stick it in my pocket there for now. And so without further ado, my glasses off. Let's hook this in and grab my winch control here. I'll bring that up snug. One more step. Okay, I'm just going to gently, I'm not going to just jump off because I don't want to shock load my tether. Okay, I'm totally hanging loose now, as you can see. It's not too bad. I can feel it really digging in right here right now. So, you know, if you were in such a position that you couldn't self-rescue, I would recommend that when you set yourself up in a tree stand, when you get ready to deploy this thing, that you do it in such a fashion that should you fall, that you can get back into the tree by yourself. Another option would be to have a radio there so you could call your buddy from over to help you, you know, get back to the tree. But really and truly, you should be able to self-extricate yourself. So let's just pretend this is my tree. This step ladder is my tree. So if I did fall out and this stopped me, I had this tether adjusted fairly close, you know, so that I didn't fall very far. Odds are I wouldn't fall all the way out. I might go, whoa, you know, and I'd be able to grab something, and you know, and this would just give me an assist. But should I fall all the way out of the tree stand, God forbid, you know, I hopefully wouldn't go very far, and it'd just be a simple matter of grabbing a hold of the tree and then climbing back in. Another thing, there's a couple other things you can do. You can set yourself up with screw in to the tree steps. They sell them at just about any, you know, big sporting goods store, and you can screw those in, and you could prepare that. Let's see, if I'm going to fall out, I'm probably going to fall out this way or that way, that you'd have those things set so that you could get a hold of them and get yourself back in the tree. Because trust me, this is starting to get painful right now. It's starting to really bear into my rib cage here, and it's kind of painful. So now the thing that you're supposed to be able to do is get to this suspension relief strap. It's got a little carabiner on the bottom of it. Do not hook this to the tree and hook your tether into this. This is not rated for your body weight. It's not designed for that. This is just to take the weight off of the harness, right? So there's a little on the back here. There's a little loop sewn into it right here. And that loop is where this hooks up. The only thing I notice now, though, that I'm hanging in the strap is that loop's kind of high up. And I guarantee you, if you have any problems with your shoulders or your back or anything, you're not going to be able to get that hook. In fact, I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with it right now to get it hooked into that. And of course, then you run the risk of dropping this. So now this is just me. It does not say this in the instructions, so if you do this, it's totally on you. But to me, I'm going to pre-connect this because I can't get it hooked in there. It's way almost, you know, I'm 60 years old, and it's way at the end of my ability to bend my arms back there. So getting that hooked up is really hard. So I'm going to take the weight off drop that back down. See, now it's real easy to do. But once it goes up and you're hanging, to get that hooked is a real pain in the butt. Okay, so what this is for now is, so I'm hanging in the tree, and I was bad when I set myself up that I wound up in a tree that I couldn't self-rescue to. So now I'm stuck. Hopefully I have my radio with me and I can call somebody to come help me. There's no cell service at the ranch, so cell phones are out. So this device here is for you to be able to put your heel in it, reach up, grab your lanyard, and then you can stand. If you hook your foot behind your ankle, that makes it a lot better. Now I could rearrange this. It feels twisty. I want to make sure you don't have any twists in this thing. Okay, and then I can take the weight off my groin. I can reposition my groin straps if need be, one leg at a time. Switch to the other leg. Get my groin straps. And here is why you don't want this thing skin tight. You know that the instructions say you want it snug to the body, but snug is one thing, but over tight is another. If you wind up with this too tight, it hurts a lot more when you're suspended in it. Like right now, I'm actually reasonably comfortable. It's kind of squeezing me on the sides a little bit, and it's bearing pretty hard in my groin. But if I have to, as long as I have the suspension relief strap on there, I could just take that weight off my groin once in a while and just kind of hang. I could probably do this for, easily an hour, I would guess. Just alternating leg to leg, and then taking some time after the sore spots are kind of gone away, adjust the harness. And I can even kind of push against the tension relief strap and kind of take some of this out, this tension out here. And I could probably easily hang here an hour without being completely miserable. It's not something you'd want to do though. So like they say in the instructions, when you get ready to hook yourself up, make sure that the tether is well adjusted so you don't fall very far. That's going to increase your likelihood of self-rescue. And don't set yourself up in like a tree that's, where you're up here, and if you fall, you're hanging way away from the tree. Try to set yourself up in a pretty vertical tree so that if you fall, it's a simple matter of just reaching back over to the tree and getting back up in the tree, okay? So, it seems like it's pretty well designed to me, but this part right here, I'm probably going to pre-connect that, and I can maybe just use these loops right here, maybe another carabiner, a small carabiner, not a load-bearing carabiner, but just a clip or something, and clip it off around there. That way it's all hooked up and ready to go, and if I need it, I can just unclip it and deploy it, and I can take the weight off of my groin. Oh, that feels better. Yeah, that relief strap is critical. If you didn't have that within 15 minutes, you'd be in agony. So, I've tried making the harness tighter. Then it hurts even worse. So there's kind of a happy medium. You don't want it too loose by any means. You just want it firmly snug. That's pretty much as tight as you don't want it really tight. You can't loosen it. Like I can't loosen these right now because they're still under a certain amount of load. And you don't want to be farting around with the adjustments when you're hanging in it, and it's 30 feet to the ground. So that's it for the BowHunterX1 fall protection system that you'd use in a tree stand. And I hope I hope that when you do hunt, if you're going to hunt above ground level, that you take all the precautions so that a fall doesn't happen and you wind up killing yourself falling. So, hey, have a great day.